Hi, my name is Morgan Powell, and my project proposal is Black ASL and Black Deaf Culture. So the purpose of this event will be part of an informational, just educating anyone who would like to attend about what Black Deaf culture is and Black ASL and its importance, because it is an important part of the Black community and the deaf community that can be often overlooked. And the second part will be question and answer with many panelists of Black, deaf, prominent figures. And it will be held either via Zoom or have an in-person component where the panelists can Zoom in and we can ask them questions that way, so we can connect with anyone nationally and internationally. And some organizations that can help in partnership with this event include the National Black Deaf Advocates, more specifically the Florida chapter, the Phineas Public Library Cooperative Deaf Literacy Center, and the University of Florida Black Student Union, the University of Florida Black Leadership Council, and University of Florida Signing Gators. And their jobs would be to help push the event out to their respective audiences, as well as helping search for panelists. This event would be completely free to the public, especially if it was being held on Zoom. And if it was held in person, we could have refreshments from local Black-owned businesses in Gainesville, so we're supporting locally and Black-owned. We could have donations available for people to donate towards the Deaf Literacy Center and the Black Deaf Advocates, especially if they are willing to partner with us in this event. Or we could have these Black-owned restaurants donate gift cards in and host raffles for them. So one raffle ticket would be worth $1, and 3 raffle tickets or 5 raffle tickets would be worth $3 in hopes of winning a gift card, just to boost excitement around this event. And possible Black-owned restaurants include Swamp Religion, Wayne Head Southern Kitchen, Chef Empowerment's Underground Kitchen, and Lucille's Southern Kitchen. On the next slide will be a sample presentation of what the event would possibly look like. Lowercase d deaf are individuals who usually rely on auditory assistant devices and prefer to use spoken language and socialize more with hearing people. Capital D deaf are members of deaf culture and the deaf community. Deaf members use sign language and share similar beliefs, values, customs, and experiences. They often prefer to socialize with culturally deaf people. And hard of hearing individuals have mild to moderate hearing loss who rely more on hearing and speech reading. Some with mild to moderate hearing levels prefer to be called capital D deaf also. All right, so this is a very brief overview of Black ASL and Black Deaf history, and we highly encourage you to do your own research and get more involved in this topic. So similarly to post-Civil War, schools for the deaf were also segregated into separate schools. The separation led to Black deaf schools differing immensely from their white counterparts. White schools focused more on the oral method of learning and provided a more academic-based curriculum, and Black schools emphasized signing and offered vocational training. And many white deaf schools were indifferent to the Black students' education. So these Black students at these schools, they developed their own form of sign language, now called Black ASL or BASL, and it's evolved along the southern and border states. And these signs, they tend to use larger signing spaces, use both hands, and emote to a greater degree when signing. And over time, Black ASL has also incorporated African American English terms. And at this point of the presentation is where we would introduce the Black Deaf panel. And now it is time for the Q&A with the Black Deaf panel. So these are a sample list of questions that we could ask the panelists. And so the first one would be, do you view yourself as a Black person or a deaf person first, and how does that impact your life? The second one is, when was a time that you felt that you did not belong in the Black or deaf community, and how did you combat those feelings? And third, who has inspired you to be the person you are today? And then the last one is, what can hearing people do to make a more accessible world for deaf people?